Hello class, and welcome to my video lesson. So this video lesson at maximum can only be 15 minutes for me. So it's good for you because it's not going to be a long video, so you don't have to hear me talking this whole time. But it also makes it kind of hard for me to explain everything in detail. So I actually have put some of the answers to all these questions ahead of time up there, so it's easier for you to go back and see. So like when it comes to all the practice ones, I'm just going to show you right away, and it has all the steps so you can see if you got it correct or not. Okay, just for that heads up. So for this problem, this is our prior knowledge. So the 3 is already labeled here, if you didn't already see it. Today we're looking at surface area of pyramids, and pyramids you actually are looking specifically at like the lateral faces of your pyramid, and all of them are actually triangles. So that's the reason why you're doing triangles today. So given the following triangle, I'd like you to find the area for me. And so all the units are in centimeters, so there's no need to worry about unit conversion. So go ahead and start by finding the area of the triangle, and go ahead and pause it right now so you have time to work on it, and then once you're done with it, go ahead and hit play. And then I'm going to go ahead and explain it to you. So go ahead and push pause and start doing the problem. Alrighty then, welcome back. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at area for this prior knowledge question. So I know the area for a triangle is equal to 1/2 the base times the height. So the base is represented by 6. The height is represented by IDK. So when it comes to the base is the overall base of this triangle right here. So you're actually going to have to focus on one of these triangles using Pythagorean theorem. So I'll use that guy right there. So I know 2 out of the 3 sides of a right triangle are given to me, so I know right away that I can use Pythagorean. Okay, and it's right triangle. So let's call A the 3. The B will be like the height of it. So the B will be my H, in other words. And then the C will be 5, so my hypotenuse. So if I substitute all these values in, I'll be getting the following. Okay, so if I start simplifying, if I subtract 9, I'll do H of over C, not very nice. H squared is, so it'll be 16. So if you take the square root of each side, that means that the H value is equal to 4. So the overall height is going to be 4. So now you want to find the area. The area is 1/2 base times height, so that's going to be 1/2 the base. So once you found the height, that's the overall height of the triangle, but the base is represented by the entire base here. It's not just that 3, it's actually the 6. So you want the area for the full triangle, not half of it. Okay? So when it comes to the base is 6, height is 4. So upon multiplying 6 times 4, you get 24, and half of 24 is 12. So 12 centimeters squared. And don't forget the units, people. Centimeters squared. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start with the title for today's note. So the title for today's notes, you can just go ahead and start writing down. It is the surface area of pyramids. To save time, I'm just going to go ahead and underline it. But I'd like you to write it at the top of your note handout. So go ahead and pause it so you have time to write that, as well as the date. Okay, and moving right along. So today we're learning about, again, surface area of pyramids, specifically square pyramids. So class, can you guys say square pyramid, please? Very good. Okay, so a square pyramid consists of a base that is a square. So we have a square, that means all those little sides are congruent to one another. And then we also are looking specifically at the perimeter of the base. So that just means you're going to be adding the perimeter of the base. So obviously that square down there. L. So L, I don't know why they even use this real symbol, but L, this is actually the slant height. You should have learned about this when it came to volume, but if you did not remember, slant height is this weird L, which, again, we have no idea why we picked L. It's just, why not? So that's going to be your slant height, and then plus big B. So big B is not big butt, as we all know. Big B is the area of the base. Okay? So that's going to help us figure out the overall surface area for all of our problems today. So to calculate the surface area, just like we do in steps, we find the perimeter first, slant height second, and then area for the base. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing this problem with you. So we have Grace, and Grace is going to paint all the surfaces of the square pyramid. So that does include the base of the square pyramid as well, not just the lateral faces or like the sides of your pyramid. Find the area that will be painted to the nearest tenth of a square foot. So all of our units are in feet, so we don't have to worry about any unit conversions there, thank the Lord. And now we have the surface area that we can just go ahead and start finding, yeah. So surface area is equal to 1/2 PL plus big B. So when it comes to P, so P is represented by the perimeter of the base. Okay, so the perimeter of the base is actually really going to be easy to find. It's a square, people. It's a square. So when it comes to the perimeter of the base, we have this good old square down here. So each of those sides are congruent to one another. So that means if one of those sides is 2 feet, all the sides are 2 feet. So I'm just going to go ahead and put those little congruent tick marks just so we know they're all congruent to one another. Now if I want to find the perimeter, it's a very advanced math that we're doing here, guys. It's 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. That's the long way. The faster way is all the sides are 2, so why not just do 4 times 2, which is 8. So either way, you should have a perimeter of 8 feet. Okay? So when it comes to L, L is the slant height. So the slant height is based on a hypotenuse. So if you look closely here, you have a triangle that looks like so. And right triangle, let's see here. We have a side of 6, we have our unknown side, which is L, and then we have this distance down here. So what the height is of this triangle, it actually is the exact center of the base of your pyramid. So that means that if this full base right here is 2, that distance is half of 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. So that distance from here to here is exactly 1/5. So I'm going to use Pythagorean. And then once I use the Pythagorean theorem, the A value I'm just going to call 1. The B value is 6. And then C is our slant height, which is unknown. So if I square the 1, I get 1. 6 squared is 36. Squared. So 37 equals L squared. So then we have to take the square root of each side. So that means your L should be an approximated side. So L is going to be about 6.1 feet. Okay? So we have our perimeter, we have our slant height, and now we have big B, so area of the base. So the area of the base is a square, which means area is base times height per square. So the base, there's my list coming in. The base is going to be 2, and the height is going to be 2 as well. So I'm just going to multiply 2 times 2, which is going to give me 4 feet squared. Okay? So now that I found all the little components that I need for my surface area, I think I'm done with this guy. So surface area is equal to 1/2 the perimeter of the base, so that's going to be 8, times the slant height, which is 6.1, plus the area of the base, which is going to be 4. So upon multiplying and adding, you should get about 28.4 feet squared. So this is a context question, so I'm not going to write the answer as a sentence just because I want to save time, but y'all need to. So Grace is going to paint all surfaces of the square pyramid. Find the area that she is painting. So that would mean that you would have to say the area that will be painted is about 28.4 square feet. Okay? So the next one is a practice round. So on the practice, I'm going to go ahead and have you guys pause it and go ahead and do the following problem. Once you unpause it, I can help you with the rest. Okay, so at this point you are probably done, so go ahead and click unplay. Unplay. Go ahead and click play. Alright, so this should be the exact solution. So just go ahead and stop now and check your work compared to my work. Okay, next problem. So we have Josh, and Josh is designing a stone sculpture shaped like a square pyramid. He's going to polish only the triangular sides of the pyramid. So that means you are only looking at the triangular sides, which are also called the lateral faces. Can you say lateral faces, please? Very good. Okay. So lateral faces only. Okay? So when it comes to the overall surface area, so we know the surface area is 1/2 the perimeter times slant height plus big B. Okay? So we're actually not going to be including the big B, because if you think about it, the area of the base, you don't need the base. He's just trying to polish the sides of it. So, excuse me. So we're looking at perimeter. So the perimeter is going to be the perimeter of the triangle that you were seeing right here. So we know the height is 10. We know this height is 6. We have no idea what the base is. Okay? So in order to figure that out, we need to go ahead and look at the little triangle that we are seeing within. So if we use Pythagorean theorem to find this side, so we'll just call this, call it like A, why not? If we find A, then we can double that, and that's going to give us the full side. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that now. So let's start with Pythagorean. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So the A is my unknown. The B is going to be like 6. And then the C is going to be 10. 6 equals 100. Okay, so that's going to be 64. Yes, 64. Okay, so if we take the square root of each side, that means your A is going to be exactly 8. So this distance right here is 8. So I'm going to erase this now. Put a little 8 there. So if I need to know the full side here, so that much, if to that point is 8, that's also 8, so the whole thing is going to have to be 16. So each of those sides is 16. Okay, so now that you know the overall dimension of the side, then we can start actually using the formula. So I have, actually do this down here. Keep it this way. Okay, so when it comes to P, so perimeter of the base, but essentially looking at the perimeter of the lateral face, so that's going to end up being, okay, so we're going to go ahead and use, not this formula, it's very, very similar to it, but it's going to be 1/2 times 4s times L. There we go. So I just substituted P with 4s because the side length is going to be based on the 16. And you want to think about if you were to if you were to unwrap this whole triangle, you'd be looking at a 16, a 16, a 16, and a 16. Okay, so you're basically seeing 4 of those triangles interconnected with one another. So that's the reason why it's 4s. Okay, so that's going to end up being 1/2 times 4 times 16 times 10, which is 320 inches squared. So that would mean, as the context answer, the area of stone Josh will need to polish is 320 square inches. Okay, last problem right here. Go ahead and pause it and do it. And there's the answer.